Many of you may not know this, but I do stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Big D Geekdom 101, where we do classic video games from the past as well as some new ones too. Twitch.tv/Big D Geekdom 101. Give me a follow and we'll have a good time. Ryan Reynolds makes his way through the terrifying world of video games, trying to survive in the brand new movie Free Guy, directed by Sean Levy, written by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn. We're discussing that here on this video today. This is a movie that I think my audience, the people who are subscribed to World of Geekdom, are going to love, because this movie is essentially a huge love letter to video games, specifically open world MMORPGs. You don't have to have been an expert of these games to really watch this movie and get it. But if you do play those games, or if you have played those games, or if you're just a casual gamer, you're going to get how everything goes in this film. The references, that is. And by the end of this film, first of all, I enjoyed the movie tremendously. This is a great, great movie. It's like a science fiction comedy type of film. But it's a movie that, to me, has a lot of heart. Beneath all that science fiction and comedy, there's a lot of heart in this movie. There are lessons to be learned and subtle things here about friendship, about finding purpose in life, about trying to fit in with other people. There are deeper themes within this film, but what I like about it is it's not like Sean Levy doesn't like shove it in your face, like there's a lesson to be learned here, this and that. The music somewhat kind of does that, but more so, if you pay attention, these characters are on a journey of discovering who they are and what they want. And I'm talking about several different characters in this film. So the movie stars Ryan Reynolds, like I said, and he plays a virtual bank teller, and he discovers that he's actually an NPC in an open world video game called Free City. He literally wakes up and realizes that he's trapped as an NPC because he puts on these sunglasses that are able to let him see what the players can see, power-ups and sort of the intricacies of the games, lit up sort of cursors and things of that nature. And his whole story is trying to figure out why the programmers are trying to control him. So yes, the movie does have a lot of Matrix, a lot of Truman Show. If you like the Matrix, the Truman Show, you're going to love this film. Ready Player One, because there are some really funny references to other properties in this film, Disney properties, because it is a 20th Century Fox or 20th Century Films, that is, production. It's got, a little bit of Westworld. If you like movies like that, you're going to like this one, but understand this is a comedy. So I mentioned The Matrix and I mentioned The Truman Show, and both those films are similar because of like this sort of journey of discovering what's really going on, this sort of mystery aspect to it. This movie is more comedic in that aspect. Don't expect there to be Matrix style fights, although there are some great fights in this movie. Don't get me wrong. There's some great action scenes, and it is, it does have good action sprinkled about it, but really the film focuses on, well, it's really three characters, right? Ryan Reynolds plays Guy, and he's, like I mentioned, he's the bank teller who discovers that he's an NPC. Then we have characters in the quote real world, like Jodie Corner, not Jodie's Corner, the YouTuber, Jodie Corner, who plays Millie, who's a programmer, and her whole thing is she's filing a lawsuit against the company that created Free City because her and her friend, Walter, played by Joe Keery, they are both programmers who have discovered that some of their code was stolen by those who programmed Free City, and their goal is to find out if they can prove that their code was stolen and seek damages because of the fact that they worked so hard on this and somebody else stole it. Now that somebody else is Antoine, played by the very funny Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi's been acting in as many movies as he has been directing, it seems, nowadays. I see him in all kinds of stuff. He was in Suicide Squad. He's in this one. He's doing, he's a hard worker, that guy. And he's really funny here as the lead villain. He was kind of channeling some Neil Patrick Harris vibes in this, which, if you have seen my Matrix 4 spoiler video where I leaked out the legitimate inside plot of that film, you know that Neil Patrick Harris is in the Matrix 4. That's not even a secret. It's on IMDb. And he plays a very important character. I'm not going to go into it here. Go watch that video here on the channel if you want the spoilers for that film. But I felt like Taika Waititi was kind of channeling him. Look, this movie's a blast. The whole idea here the like of the video game world, Free City, and like how it's sort of like inspired by the old simulation games like Sim City and of course, the Sims, of course, but also it's like GTA. I mean, this is basically Grand Theft Auto. That's what this is, and you see these people playing these avatars in the virtual world. They're going through these missions, they're having fun playing these missions, and Guy, Free Guy, if you want to call him that. In the movie, they call him Blue Shirt Guy. He is stuck in the middle of it. So just imagine if you're like, a person and you wake up one day and you realize you're in a video game and you're not even a main character. You're an NPC. You're dodging grenade launchers. You're dodging explosions. You're walking down the street, seeing people get stuck up and people dying left and right. But the next day you kind of Groundhog's Day style, you kind of get rebooted and you're back to being an NPC. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff. Now, you could nitpick the hell out of this film because if you're a video game player, or even if you understand how programming works and how servers work, near the end of this movie, some things happen that don't make any sense, okay? And what I mean by don't make any sense, obviously this movie isn't supposed to make sense because it's a fictional science fiction movie, but if you understand how computers work and video games, especially online tech, you're going to be like, wait a minute, that can't happen. Like if you did that, then this would happen. You know what I mean? Things like that can take you out of the film, but it's one of those things where for this movie, you really have to, and I hate saying this, y'all. I hate saying turn your brain off. I hate saying that. I don't like saying that, but there are some aspects here where you're going to have to just say, okay, like, I guess that's how it works in this world. You know what I mean? And I don't mean in the video game world. I mean in the real world. Things that just are, or what I mean is things that just don't work the way they're supposed to work. But put that aside though, Ryan Reynolds here, he's funny. I mean, I mentioned Truman Show. He channels a lot of Jim Carrey. The storyline moves pretty damn smoothly and the movie does not bore you at all. Like, I was invested in this film because it's interesting. It's visually great. I mean, they have special effects here that resemble those of like Doctor Strange, with cityscapes being mutated and things of that nature. Lots of, there's lots of love here to streamers. For example, there's tons of cameos here. Jacksepticeye, Ninja, Pokimane, they're all in this movie. Like the huge Twitch streamers, they're all here. Not to mention that there's also a ton of other cameos in this movie, like Chris Evans, Channing Tatum, Hugh Jackman, The Rock's in this movie. They're all just little cameos here and there, voice cameos and visual cameos. To me though, because I come from the world of YouTube and I also stream on Twitch over at twitch.tv/BigDGeekdom101, because of that, it's like I could appreciate that they actually went out, and this is a Disney Fox movie, that they went out and they found real Twitch streamers like Pokimane, Ninja, these are real people and it adds that level of authenticity to the movie. So if you are a video game fan, if you like video games, if you like movies like The Matrix and Truman Show that are actually funny, if you like Ryan Reynolds, which who doesn't like Ryan Reynolds? If you like Taika Waititi, who's hilarious in this, he's wacky as hell, you gotta go see Free Guy, yo. Free Guy is a very good movie, very heartwarming, and there's a lot of real deep things in this film that by the time you're done with it, you're going to be like, yeah, like they knocked that out of the park. This sense of, who I am and why am I here? Because Guy goes through that. Like, okay, if I'm an NPC, what's my purpose in life? Really, really good stuff, yo. Go check it out right now in theaters, only in theaters, and it's worth seeing. I'll talk to you next time.